Hey, my loves, and welcome to the Dynamic Effect. It is so great to have you here for another episode. I am your host, Coach Kimmy Young, here on the Dynamic Effect. Thank you for joining me for one more wonderful episode that we can learn and grow together and truly learn how to embrace the fire within each and every one of us. Each and every one of us, ladies, we have a fire inside of us, and we need to learn how to let that fire shine bright in the world. So, today, I want to talk about taking a deep breath. You heard someone say, just take a deep breath, let it go. When you're in the middle of a situation or argument with someone, or sometimes someone is bringing up their past and you're just sometimes tired of hearing about it, and they say, girl, why don't you just let it go? Today's episode is just that, let it go. How to stop worrying and live. Right? We all need to get a place to where we stop worrying in life and we just learn to live. So today, that's what I want to talk to you about. Is what are some steps that we can talk about being worry free and just letting go and living life? What would that look like for some of us? Let me tell you some of the steps that you have to take. All right, let's jump into it. The first step you have to take is you have to be willing to change your mindset. I really wanted to pick the topic about letting it go because I started a new book series. And in the book series, the book is called Get Out of Your Head, and it's by Jeannie Allen. And in part of the book series, she gets to a chapter of the book where she's talking about forgetting. And forgetting really simply just means like we learn to forgive people, but do we learn how to just forget it? Right? Do we learn how to forget the things that happened to us in the past and say, I am not defined by those things that are happening or that happened in my life, and I can move forward in life and I can live a prosperous life. I can live a life free of worry and I can just let things go. And as I'm reading in the book and it's talking about forgetting things, it talks about there are some things that we don't want to forget. We don't want to forget about the great moments in our life, about you're right, our wedding day, right? We want to look back and be like, oh, that was a great day, the birth of our children, our first date, the first job promotion that we got. Those are great things that we want to remember. We definitely don't want to forget those things. But the things that happened in our life, maybe there was abuse, maybe there was an assault that took place, there was a time that you didn't get a job that you wanted. Um, Something was downgraded in your life that you thought that really should have been an upgrade in an area of your life. There's an avenue of your time of your life where things weren't the best, right? Those are the things that we soak in them. And because we soak in them for so long, we don't learn how to get over and just move on and let it go. There's a great quote that I used to say that one of my mother's friends, Gloria Hunt, always taught me. She would say, baby girl, you need to learn how to cry a river, build a bridge, and get over it. Right. And that is truly what I started to do in life. And some people might say, well, that's just like, you can't, it's not just that easy. And I want to let you know, it is truly just that easy. I'm not saying you can't cry. I'm not saying that you can't build steps to get to where you need to go. Yeah, right. And I'm not saying just go and just run over it and just go on to life. I'm saying it's okay. You could cry your river, right? And then you need to build your bridge. And then you need to get over that bridge, get over that hump in your life, right? That mountain of a thing. And then you need to go on and live your life because there are so many more mountains that you're going to have to climb. And there are so many more rivers that you're going to have to cry. So that's not going to be the only thing. But I want to teach you, how do you get over that? Right. And so the first thing you have to do, like I said, is going back to the number one thing, is changing your mind. Changing your mind is, if you think negative thoughts, the reaction to that is going to be negative outcomes. So when we talk about different models of life and of coaching, we talk about, what do you want to see as an end result, right? If I'm a strategic person and the end result is I would like to have an outcome of where I'm not worrying, right? That's our whole purpose of this podcast, is learning how to not worry. That's my outcome. What are the things that I have to do before I get there? part of the one thing that I have to do is I have to change my mindset. If I'm walking around being negative about everything, I'm not going to be able to get to that outcome. So that outcome has to be a positive outcome. So positivity always feeds positivity. So I can't go negative, 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 negative and have a positive, right? Because even in math equations, that doesn't work right. I have a -2 and a -2 and a -2, right? I'm going to get a -6. But if I have a +2 and a +2 and a +2, I'm going to get a +6. And that's the same way things works out in life is you need to have positivity. So you have to be willing to change your mind. When you change your mind and start to dwell in a place of positivity, you start to recycle good thoughts in your mind. And those good thoughts generally breed more good thoughts. And those thoughts start to breed actions. And it really starts to speak for who you are and the values of you as a person. So that's the first thing I want to talk about is changing your mindset. Next thing is cutting off friends and people in your life that do not bring a positivity to your life. So if they don't have an outcome to help you to change your mindset, then those are the people you might need to leave back. So letting it go, even for the people that you have forgiven. So when we say that you need to forgive someone and forget it and let it go. What I'm not saying is that you need to forgive them and then you need to set them as your best friend next to you and forget everything that they've done and just go on at life. I mean, yeah, there are going to be some boundaries that you've set. If someone has hurt you, if someone has said something, if someone has done something inappropriate, you don't need to be their friends, right? And you don't need to be their best friends. You might just need to keep that person in your inner circle. You still want to be a friend with them, but they don't have to be your closest inner circle person either. So it's okay to know that you can let some people go that are not for your positivity and for your growth. And in doing that, it will help you to let things go. Some friends and some hurts that you have, you need to totally let them go. And in letting them go, what you're doing is you're saying, I am not willing. This is where I budge. This is the hill that I'm willing to die on. You did this to me. It was very offensive. It was very abusive. It was very disrespectful. It was out of character of the person that I am. You can't even be in my associate circle, let alone my inner circle. And so letting those people go and out of your life brings you to a next phase of creating more positive things in your life. Some people really just like to see negativity in your life, right? Some people like to see discord because they're so negative, because they're so unhappy. Once you filter through and get all of those people out, you start to see that you can easily let things go because you'll have people around you that influence you to let things go. Next is setting some goals for yourself. So maybe it's a new career, it's a job change, it's a new relationship, um, it's an old relationship that you need to mend back together. One of the things that brought me to thinking about letting it go is there are some people that truly hold on to some things. I mean, hold on to it like it's a vengeance. I don't know about the whole, like I'm a Scorpio. So the whole, what people are in their signs, I don't follow all that, but I know people say, oh, this sign, they never let go. They never do this. They never do that. I don't know what those signs are, but I always hear people say that. And for some reason, it almost gives people the permission to hold on because it's like that's your sign and that's what you do. And so you get to hold on to things. And we just expect that you're just not going to be a forgiving person or a person that's going to let things go. But what I want to challenge you with is that forget what your birth sign is, forget what your birth year is, and focus on, if you are able to focus on yourself and set goals for yourself, you won't really have a lot of time to focus on things in the past because you're so busy moving forward to things in your future. And you're letting things go and you're living life without worry. So it's important that as you set goals for yourself, you're setting small goals and big goals. I would say, set goals of like a 12-month goal, a 5-year goal, a 10-year goal, right? In the next year, I want to start a small business. In 5 years, I want to start a nonprofit. In 10 years, I would like to have purchased a home and have some great investments, right? You can set these goals in your life, but as you're doing these goal settings, what you'll start to realize is that you won't have time to focus on the things that are in your past, and you'll be spending more energy moving forward to things in your future. And as you move forward, you're going to meet new people, right? So those old people that you've cut off, you're going to meet new people that are going to take places, and then your mindset really starts to change. So see how that all intertwines together to create now what would be considered a worry-free life of letting things go and not letting people hold you back. Um, I had a conversation this week with someone, and for about 2 hours that I was speaking and coaching with this client, they kept bringing up an individual in their life that kept affecting them. It kept having a major influence on them. And they really couldn't let go of the person in their life because it was a family member. And what's so bothersome is that they were so dependent upon this person that their relationship, everything they had was built around this person, and every time this person did something to them, it brought up new hurts and new pains, and they couldn't let it go. I mean, they couldn't let it go from the age of 2, from the age of 4, from the age of 6. Like they remember down to the second, to the minute, things that happened in their life as a result of this person having a direct influence on their life. And they're now in their 40s, and they still feel like this little 2-year-old or this 3-year-old that was affected in their life. And that's no way to live. If you are 40 years old, if you're 50 years old, if you're 20 years old, and every time that this person comes back into your life, because this is a person that plays a very intricate part of your life, such as family or kin to you, and you can't just like not be friends, and you cannot just not let them go and not let them in your inner circle, you really need to seek help, counseling, coaching on how to best deal with this person, number one. And number two, how to let go of those things that that person did to you in the past. Because every time that I sit down and I talk with this client, the thing about it is that they're telling me stories from when they were this age, but the person on the other end has no clue about it at all. And they have no clue about it because, number one, they don't know that they offended you. They don't know that it was a hurt for you. And they've let it go because they're doing other things in their life. So here you are staying up all night long, pondering about why this person did this to you. How come they offended me? How come they dishonored me? How come they hurt me? How come they trespassed on this area of my life? And yet they're living their life. You're worried and they're living their life. You have to learn to let it go. You can't hold on to these things. It will eat you up inside. And that moves me to my next thing, is forgiveness. We say we forgive them, but we don't forget. Well, I need you to do two things. I need you to learn to do these two things. Will you be willing to learn to do these two things with me today? Learn how to forget and to forgive. When you learn to forgive, it is really for yourself. You are saying, I am free of this. I am no longer going to focus on it, and I'm going to let it go, right? And they do work together, hand in hand, forgiving and forgetting, right? And letting go, because it is a disease to you to hold on to something. I have an opportunity to sit at the King's Table, and many of you know about the King's Table. It is like a video live stream session. Monday nights we do it with Dr. Kathy James with Esther Nation Ministries. And at the King's Table this past week, we talked with cancer survivors. We are in the month of October, so we're doing Breast Cancer Awareness Month for all of those that are going through breast cancer, and for those that have survived breast cancer. We honor you and we cherish you. You are very, very strong women and men. But the thing, when one of the patients that were with us, and one of the guests as she spoke, She said, you have to learn how to forgive, forget, and to love. Because if you don't, it's like a disease. It's like a hate builds up inside of you. It's a discord that sits with you. It's so much unforgiveness. It's like a disease. And it literally can eat at your body. She said once she got cancer and started doing treatments, and it opened up her eyes to a whole new world to say, not only do I have a disease of cancer, but if I let anything else into my life, into my body, into my mind, I'm giving in to the disease that eats at us, which is hate, which is dislike of things. And we focus so much attention on that. And we need to learn how to not do that and to let it go. She says, I just started letting go of stuff because I realized that it really does eat at your life. It eats at your kidneys. It eats at your liver. Stress eats at your brain. It eats at your muscles. It takes away from your sleep. It takes away from the entirety of you as a person. So when you don't forget things and when you just hold on to things, it eats at you every single day. This is where cancer comes from. This is where heart disease, this is where strokes and heart attacks and a whole different series of diseases that come along, because what we do is we sit back, we overeat, we have diabetes and high blood pressure. We have continued stress, which means it's just continually wearing on our organs in our body, not to mention our mind. So we need to learn how to forgive. When you learn how to forgive, you are at a whole nother level of experiencing life and wholeness because you've done forgiveness for yourself. And then you forget about it. You've let it go and you're living a life that's worry-free. Not to say if you live a life of worry-free, you'll be cancer-free. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is you limit the ability for things to be able to enter into your mind, to enter into your body, to socially affect you, which in return creates negativity, right? We talked about that. So we only want to create positivity so we have positive outcomes. We're talking about that end outcome, and the end outcome is positivity. And that's what we want to see. So in order to get positive end results, we have to have positive things build up to that. And this is one of them, learning to forgive. Lastly, I want to talk about not being a people pleaser and stop trying to impress people. When you try to impress people, there's such a level of frustration and depression that goes along with that because you will never measure up to what people are doing in their lives. And a couple of podcasts before, I talked about why people uh, aren't, why we worry so much about things when we don't need to, because really ultimately the worry in our life only comes from us worrying. It doesn't come from other people thinking about us. So if I'm not concerned about you and I'm worrying about what you think about, if you're not concerned about me, but I'm worrying about what you think about me, I'm spending a lot of time doing nothing, right? So this is the point in life where you have to come to, how do you stop worrying about what people think about you? Number one is you need to really get off of social media. Social media has played such a negative effect in people's lives. So when we talk about those negative things that have negative outcomes, it's very minimal times that social media has had a positive outcome and effect on people's lives. So we need to talk about what are some positive things in our life that create a good outcome. And social media is not one of them. So when you look at social media, the first thing that we always want to do is we want to have a comparison. Oh, they have the newest car. Oh, they have the jet ski. Oh, they're always on vacation. Oh, they're always doing this and doing that. Not thinking that people are very selective about what they do, about what they say, about what they present on social media. They're not going to say, hey, I'm in debt. Hey, my husband is leaving me. My wife is this kind of way. My car just broke down and I have no money because I'm always overspending in my credit cards, right? That's not the life that we see on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. We always see what's the current most fashionable, most impressive, most rewarding thing for the sensations of the brain. So when we stop with the impressions that we're trying to impress other people, we really can live a life of transparency and be free within ourselves And with that comes along letting things go, because you don't have to be so rigid. You don't have to be so rigid. I used to, and I can't even say I really used to, but there was a time where I was like, when I was really starting into coaching and looking at the influencers on Instagram and on Facebook and like, oh, how could I really put this business out there? What do I have to represent? And I got with some businesses and they're like, hey, you have to represent every time you take an Instagram, take a picture of yourself, make sure it's this way and make sure it's that way and edit it and crop it like this. And I was like, but that's not real life. If I have to do all that, number one, I don't want to do this. So my Instagram is not filled with like headshots of myself and body shots of this. And how do I get this? Like, to me, that's not coaching. That's not representing what I'm offering up to my clients. What I'm offering up to you is transparency. So when I look like a hot mess and I have 3 kids behind me and I'm wondering like, whose kids are these and why are they calling me mom? Right? That's coaching. Like, to me, that is real life experience. I get very little sleep. I have to find time for my podcast. I am responding to emails that I don't want to do. I am talking to clients that I'm frustrated about sometimes. At the end of the day, right, I have a husband I need to take care of. I have 3 boys that I have to raise. So there's no need for me to try and impress you. The fact that I woke up this morning and that I end with a successful day of getting a couple of tasks done and working my job, to me, I've impressed myself. Right? I don't need to worry about impressing you all. I want to be a good example. I want to be a good reflection on dynamic coaching, and I want to be a great reflection to my kids. Right? That's what's most important at the end of the day. But I don't need to impress you. I just need to let you know that we all have struggles and I want to help you through those struggles. And this is what it looks like to get through the struggle, right? And I'm creating little positive steps in my life because I want my outcome to be a positive outcome. And so in that process, I just let things go. It's okay that the floor is dirty today. I will get to it tomorrow when I get to it, right? It's okay that one piece of the homework didn't get done. I'll get to it tomorrow. It's okay that the email didn't get answered. I'll get to it tomorrow. I categorize things. So it all comes down to 5 important steps to letting things go. It's like water on a duck's back. Just let it roll off. I went whitewater rafting with some friends not too long ago, and all the little ducks were following us out in the lake. And it just amazed me how the ducks can go underneath the water, dive into the water, go get their fish, get their worms, get everything they need. They're in the water, but you never see them wet, right? And so I love the representation that it's like water off a duck's back. It doesn't stay on their back. So why are we letting things stay on us? Why are you letting things stick to you when they're not supposed to be sticking to you? Right? That's not what you were built for. You weren't designed to carry this weight throughout your whole life, not even just for a little bit of your life. We need to forgive and we need to forget and we need to move on. Cry a river, build a bridge, and get over it. So let's recap. The first step is to change your mindset. Have positive thoughts throughout your day, throughout your month, throughout your years, so that your outcome can be positive, right? Cut off some of the friends, those people that are not benefiting you, those people that are bringing negativity to your life. They're not having a positive influence. It might be time to cut them out. And they're bringing up some old hurts and some old things in your past. You're not willing to really write them out anymore. We're letting it go. Let those people go. And then you want to set goals for yourself. Set little, small, incremental, smart goals, right, that are measurable for you in your life so that you can say, these are the things that I'm doing because I'm creating positive steps to get to this positive outcome. So I'm going to set those goals and I'm going to move forward. Next, we want to learn to forgive. Forgive and forgiveness do need to go together. So we don't want to just forgive and not forget about it, right? We do want to know that this person could be a risk for me. It could be a danger for me. They might not need to be in your inner circle, but you need to forgive them. You need to get rid of the hate, the discord, the heaviness that you're holding, that disease that's inside. Let it go. Yes, the abuse was there. Yes, the molestation happened. Yes, they spent all your money. Yes, he took your kids from you. Yes, she was disrespectful to you. Yes, you lost that promotion on your job. Yes, someone lied about you. But you know what? I forgive you because I need the forgiveness. I don't want to die of a disease because I was stressed and overate and overexerted myself in life. I want to let it go. So I'm going to forgive you and I'm going to move on. I'm going to cut you off and I'm going to go on to a better place in positivity. And lastly, we want to stop trying to impress people. I don't need to impress you. If I impress you, if I'm trying to impress you, I'm holding up a high standard that really is not an expectation of anyone but yourself. And no one is consumed with you but yourself. So there needs to be no need to impress anyone, right? There are some great, impressive celebrities, athletes, and some wonderful people out there. But it's okay if your life is your life, because guess what? No one can live your life better than you. So if you're trying to be me in your life, you won't excel. And if I'm trying to be you in my life, I won't excel. So I need to only impress me and just work on me. And when I do that, I let everything else go and I let everything else fall off my shoulders, and I'm not carrying the weight of the world anymore. So these are the 5 steps of how to let it go, live a life that's worry free, and learn to just live in the moment, right? Live in love, live in charity, live in humility, live in grace and in peace with each other. And when you do that, you will live a life that is truly embracing to yourself and to the others that are around you. This is the time where I tell you, though, if you're like Kimmy, I am trying to figure out how to live worry free. I'm trying to learn how to let it go, right? I want to offer you the opportunity to coach with me. So you can work with me. Reach out to me at www.kimmyyoung.com or service@kimmyyoung.com. You can schedule a mini session with me and just come and talk and say, Kimmy, I want to learn how to let it go. Give me these steps and give me a couple examples of how I can learn how to let it go. My mother hurt me. My father hurt me. My brothers, my sister did that. I see them every day. I don't understand why they keep hurting me, or I don't understand why they did hurt me 20 years ago, but I can't get over it. We can talk about it. We can learn how you're going to build those steps to create positive influences on your life. So live worry free and let it go. Thanks for coming to the Dynamic Effect. I can't wait to see you all next episode. Have some really good content to look forward to. See you later, loves. Take care.